Hello everyone, welcome to another video. I just want to talk about my experiences using dating sites and have I met anyone? And the answer to that question is yes and no. What you'll find is when you do decide to go on a dating site is you'll have your fake profiles, your scammers, your girls or men that are not very serious who just want to play games, and you'll have the genuine serious people. And it can be difficult to try and figure out who is who. You know, if you want to talk about players, yeah, there's a lot of people online who are just looking for sex. And to be honest, I think they're on the wrong sites if that's what they're looking for. But if you're looking for a relationship, it can be quite difficult to figure out who's genuine. As I've discussed in previous videos, I've mentioned how the websites operate and work. Please check out that video. I'll put a link in the description so you can watch it. And I also talked about scammers, and I also touched on fake profiles. But maybe it'd be interesting for you guys to know that the women I have contacted have told me that the message they sent me, they never intended to send me. The website sent it on their behalf. So obviously I've mentioned and touched on the dating websites that are quite deceptive. When you're not a member, they send you messages, and then when you send a reply, you find out that the person that sent you that message wasn't even real. They worked for the website. So I haven't touched on the genuine girls that I have talked to, and they have actually confirmed to me that they haven't actually sent me certain messages, and they were sent by the website. So obviously it's not their fault. You know, I know you may send a nasty message possibly if you were a bit angry of that to that girl, but you've got to remember it's not their fault. The website is there to try and entice you to sign up for membership, and they'll do anything they can to get you to sign up. Unfortunately, normally 9 times out of 10 when you've been sent a message, you will sign up and want to look at the message and reply and hope this is the beginning of you finding someone. But unfortunately that's not how it works, because normally these are fake people that are employed by the websites. So I just wanted to touch briefly on the fact that I think a lot of dating sites use disgraceful tactics to entice people to sign up. In regards to my experiences meeting some women, I've met some black girls, some Chinese girls. I met a woman from Italy, and she was really nice. And you can meet people, and I just want to stress that point, that dating sites are not what I've made out in some of the other videos, the evil corporations that are just out to get your money. Yeah, true, you have to spend money, and normally it's the men, because there are some dating sites out there that allow women to go for free and men have to pay, and I do want to touch on that. I think it's completely and totally unfair and very sexist, and considering we live in a society that's supposed to be equal opportunities for all, including women, women can obtain what men can, such as, you know, employment, pay and all that. It seems to me very one-sided, and that's what prompted the European Union to actually bring a new law in that stated this is why insurance companies can no longer discriminate genders, whether you're male or female. So what the insurance companies did, rather than lower the rates for the men, is they increased the rates for the women to match the rates of the men, which I thought was incredibly unfair. I don't believe the statistics that say men drivers are worse than women, because I'm a professional driver myself, and I can tell you for a fact I see a lot of bad women drivers on the roads as well as men. So I wouldn't say it's men are the ones that are all bad. It's just that more men drive on the road than women do. Anyway, we're getting away from the subject here, aren't we? Anyway, I want to get back to the thing regarding, you know, the various people I've met. Yeah, there are some users on there who looking for a free meal. So just remember that any women you do get in touch with and you go on a date with, they might just be out for a free meal. A good sign of a good person is if they offer to pay half the bill themselves. And I think we're getting away from the 1950s concept of the man who works and the woman stays home. And I think it's a modern reality of the times we live in is it's equal opportunities. So in my book, and I think in many people's eyes as well, especially in the Western world, obviously in the Eastern world it's a bit different. Men are the breadwinners, but in the Western society women have those freedoms, so they can obtain just as much as men can. So in a relationship, generally speaking, it should be an equal opportunity. So both should be willing to work and share the burden of the finances. Anyway, my experience with meeting some women online, yeah, I have had some relationships via internet dating. And in some respects, you could say internet dating is better than meeting some people in a pub and club. Now, obviously, in the previous videos regarding scammers and fake profiles, I'd said you're better off meeting people in a pub or club because you can see the real because they're in front of you. However, what I will say is they will not disclose whether they're married, whether they've got kids. On dating sites, people, if they fill in their profiles properly, will tell you if they've got children, if they're married or divorced, or some are even willing to have two boyfriends, or I think it's called polygamy or something like that. Anyway, I'm the sort of person that believes in obviously having one person, and many women and men are like that, but some might be, I know you see it sometimes on TV where some people are quite weird and they want more than one lover. I remember watching a program where this guy in America who had something like 10 girlfriends in a communal church arrangement or something like that, and it was a bit weird. But that's the exception, obviously. But in general, a woman just wants a one man, and she's not interested in having multiple lovers and that sort of thing. But you have to be really mindful that there are a lot of gold diggers online as well, who are there and they're out for themselves. They're looking for someone rich, and if you're not careful, you could find yourself heavily in debt because you've been trying to impress this woman that thinks you're rich, and you're buying all the clothes, going to the restaurants, and you've bought a fancy car that you're renting to prove or show that you've got money. Keep within your means, don't lie, be honest. I think most women will pay their way when they realise that you're not loaded, but unfortunately there are a lot of women, and I'll say that's true of men though. There's some men who are looking for the easy book, the easy life with finding a wealthy woman, or someone who's divorced, because normally a woman that's divorced does have a little bit of money. So one thing I would say is, if you're considering getting married and you have married an Asian woman from Asia or someone from Eastern Europe, it might be a good idea, if obviously you're male or female for that matter, and you've got a good job in the UK and you've got a fair amount of stability financially, it might be a good idea if you get them to sign a prenuptial agreement. That way they don't more or less take a lot of what you've earned through the years. I believe that if you've been together for many years and you both contributed, fair enough. If you divorce, it should be split 50-50, that's fine. But if you're someone who built up a huge portfolio and had something like 100,000, 200,000 in assets, and then you married someone who came from the Ukraine and brought nothing into the relationship, it'd be a bit unfair. It would be certainly a bit unfair if you were split up or you got divorced and she walked away with half of what you had built up. So Heather Mills right, was awarded 24.3 million in a divorce settlement from former Beatle Paul McCartney. So obviously you can see that there are women out there who are looking for a quick buck and thinking that they can marry someone and come away with a lot of money. So I just wanted to illustrate it's very important that you protect yourself. Whether you be male or female, it doesn't matter. If someone's really serious about getting married with you and they're not a UK national, you need to be very mindful that they're not looking for a visa or trying to obtain, some financial gain from you if you've built up or do have a large portfolio of finance. So I hope this video was a little bit educational about internet dating. You have to be mindful and careful of who you talk to, and if you are concerned about someone you're with, that they might be using you, whether that be for a visa or financial gain, protect yourself. And one of those ways of doing that is getting a prenuptial agreement. That way, if things go bad and sour, at least you know they're not going to take your house. Because what happens with a lot of men in particular is when a woman gets divorced, she gets given custody of the kids and she also gets ownership of the house, or at least temporary ownership of the house. So as a man, where are you going to live? You get kicked out basically, and the courts will throw you out, and the police will remove you if they decide to. So in those instances you need to protect yourself and have an agreement put into place, so if the worst case scenario happens, at least you protect yourself. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.